Attention! The education budget has been declining dramatically in California. Why should this concern you? Lowering this budget is the reason why California is not progressing from the Great Recession, leading to fewer jobs and higher taxes for all of us. But the real problem here is how unfairly the Department of Finance funds public education, causing California not to provide the proper education to students who are now among the worst in national assessments. Generally speaking, public education is a tuition-free, publicly funded system that must provide an education to each child. Thomas Jefferson stated that public education should be funded with taxes. So what's the problem? Nowadays, the budget is not being funded properly, and the educational curriculums in California are not the best. Consequently, due to $2.8 billion cut from the educational budget, programs and resources have been cut from the curriculum, resulting in major lack in textbooks and computers for schools. This means that students are not receiving quality support and resources from their own government. Not to mention, decline in funding has caused school calendars to be shorter, resulting in teachers not fully covering the state standards. Isn't it illogical that the state is setting up its own students for failure? To complicate matters, colleges have raised their tuition as much as 27% to compensate for decreasing education funds, leading to more dropouts and fewer graduates. An unfair distribution of educational resources makes students less likely to learn, less likely to find a good job, and more likely to end up in prison. Education budget cuts have been made due to overpopulation in prisons, causing their budgets to skyrocket, leading California to favor its inmates rather than students by spending $8,482 per student compared to $50,000 per inmate. Yet, some people argue that California is already spending more than ever in education, except California is providing less for each student than it did before the recession. So to recap, taxes are not being administrated fairly towards education, and the per-student spending is bound to drop more over time. Therefore, poor education drains the economy, but if California were to invest more in students, they would provide economic gains for the state.